start off by saying that there is a huge chance that I might make like 5 or more versions of this video throughout the life of this channel because I am constantly learning the importance of hiring the best vendors, especially when it comes to your planner and your coordinator. Hey guys, and welcome to my channel. My name is Dakota, and I'm a wedding photographer in Wilmington, North Carolina. And today I'm wearing this super cute romper from Mimi's Boutique in Goldsboro. So sweet if you're looking for something for a bridal shower or attending a wedding or even just like anything. I'm just going to shout them out because I love them so much. Anyways, back to planners. Sometimes I feel like planners and coordinators kind of fall into this category of I'm just going to do everything myself, and then I will hand everything that I've planned over to somebody else and they'll be able to take care of it. And sometimes that somebody else is not necessarily a paid professional, but instead a friend that's going to be helping you on the wedding day. Honestly, sometimes this works out and the day is beautiful, it goes off without a hitch, and sometimes it looks like the cake getting lost because we forgot to coordinate with the bakery to deliver it and now it's 45 minutes away. True story that literally happened at a wedding that I was at. My wish for every single one of my brides, and I should also say grooms, bridal parties, and families, is a stress-free wedding day. The day could be the most beautiful compilation of all of the prettiest details and the best vendors, but if you're feeling overwhelmed and pulled in every single direction, you're going to remember it that way instead of the beautiful day that it was supposed to be. So recently I've worked with some really awesome planners and coordinators, and I wanted to just break down some of the things that you probably didn't think about that they add to the day and make it so much better for you as a bride. Weddings today are like really big performances, and those performances need stage managers. You need someone who is going to hold all of the information about your vision or even come in at the very beginning and take all of those ideas that you have and turn them into reality. Coordinators and planners are responsible for a lot on the wedding day. This includes creating timelines, making sure that everybody there is sticking to those timelines, making sure that everything's in its place, that it's all cleaned up, that everything is being taken care of, and that most importantly, you're not aware of any of that. So like I said, I have worked with a lot of really awesome coordinators recently, and there was a lot that they were doing that I didn't really expect them to be doing or just, I don't know, didn't think about. And so I wanted to share those with you guys so that if you're on the fence about hiring a coordinator or deciding between the day of or the month of, that this kind of helps give you some clarity on all of the behind the scenes things that they do that you maybe didn't think of. So the main and biggest one is communicating with all of the vendors. Most coordinators will reach out to your entire vendor list prior to the wedding day to make sure that everybody has the correct timeline, that we all have a plan for arriving, dropping things off if you're the florist or cake, you know where to go, and you also know who to call. So that way, when we get there in the morning, we're not all calling the bride. Because your job on the wedding day is to drink mimosas, get pampered, and like prepare yourself for the biggest party ever. So you need somebody that you trust completely and who has experience working with different types of venues and all these different types of vendors to be able to communicate with them, coordinate them so that people aren't just coming in and dropping stuff off and then constantly running into the bridal suite and asking you where you want the flowers to go or where does your donut wall go, because that would seriously stress me out. If you are planning on having somebody coordinate your wedding that isn't necessarily a person who does it full time or does it professionally, then make sure that they know that this is also part of their job and that you have completely given all of your vision and direction over to them before the day of the wedding so that on the day of, you're not having to answer all of those questions. One of the other things that they do that I am so grateful for coordinators for is handling things when they don't necessarily go as planned. I've been a part of a lot of wedding days. I see things look beautiful. I'm responsible for making sure that they're documented beautifully. But to be honest with you, there's always going to be something, which is expected. You can't get that many people in a room together. You can't have that big of a party without something going just a little bit wrong or just not quite what you had planned. You as the bride and groom, and also mother of the bride and all of the close family members and the bridal party, is not to step in and try to handle things when they don't go quite as planned. You guys are there to celebrate, you're there to party, you're there to enjoy all of the planning that you've been stressing about for months. And so the easiest way to pass all of that off is to have a coordinator and make sure that they are completely trained in what they're doing. Having somebody there that isn't there to enjoy the party and isn't trying to say hello to all of these family members or enjoy themselves while they're there, but they're there to run the show, makes things so much easier because they're completely focused on making sure that everything's happening according to the timeline and that they're able to anticipate things before they go wrong. And I know I keep saying like things going wrong, and you might be thinking like, oh my gosh, what disaster is going to happen on my wedding day? But it doesn't always have to be something super major. Sometimes it can just be those little questions that you don't necessarily want to deal with, like something running out at the bar or something spilling on the floor, or we don't know what path to go to get here. We don't know where the bathroom's at, whatever. And so having somebody that can jump in on those little things and make sure that they're taken care of is going to make your day so much better. The third thing that coordinators and planners help you do is get the most out of your vendors. This one's a little interesting and not necessarily something that I had thought about until I started working with some coordinators that were like completely and totally bomb. And so what I mean by coordinators and planners helping you get the most out of your vendors is if you have somebody who is there solely to make sure that everything goes off without a hitch, there's a timeline, everybody's sticking to that timeline, they're answering the questions that are coming up, your other vendors aren't having to step up and handle those things and taking the focus off the things that they were actually hired to do. So, for example, there are times during the timeline of the day that things will need to be shifted around. It's pretty common. We try to stick to the timeline as much as possible, but obviously things come up. As the photographer, my main objective of being there is obviously to capture the day. I'm trying to stay on the timeline as much as possible, but when those things change, if the DJ needs something different or it started raining, so we have to change the way that the cocktail hour is going, or we've decided we wanted to cut the cake early, someone has to tell all of the vendors that are working the party that something's changing so that way we can all act accordingly. If I, as the photographer, have decided to change something or need to change something and I have to go and ask the DJ if he's okay with it, the bride and groom if they're okay with it, the caterer, the venue person, whatever, that's going to be taking time away from me taking pictures of the day, which in turn is taking away from what you at the bride and groom paid for. Having a coordinator that's already thinking about all of the little things that are going to happen during the day and are able to communicate that with all of the different vendors actually allows you to get more out of those vendors and let them do the things that they were hired to do. And you all know that we love getting more bang for our buck. So if that's not enough reason to hire one, then I don't know what is. Oh, also, the best coordinators, talking about getting the most out of your vendors, you also want to be able to experience your vendors. And so the best coordinators that I know are the ones who are also making sure that your food is plated, that you're going to be able to actually eat and taste the food that you paid for, that you always have a drink in your hand, that you're having the best time that you possibly can, getting to enjoy the music, and then also walking into the room and making sure that you're not missing out on all of the little details that they've made sure have come to life. Okay, yeah, so I think getting the most out of your vendors is probably the most important reason for having a coordinator. And then the last one on this list for today, like I said, this list will probably be a lot longer because I'm constantly adding to it, but that is cleanup. So we do all of this planning, all of this setting up, all the partying, and now we got to take it all down. You as the bride and groom definitely do not want to be a part of this. And then also you don't really want any of your guests, including your family and your bridal party, to be a part of it either. Because breaking down a wedding is more than folding table linens and stacking chairs. It's making sure that all of these tiny little details are being put in the right boxes, that they're being packed away in the best space, and that they're organized so that way they can be sent back to the people that they were rented from. And what a lot of brides don't know is that if you're not careful during cleanup and you're not organized, there is also a chance that you can be charged additional fees. And that can come from putting your trash in the wrong spot or not realizing that you were responsible for cleaning up a certain part of the venue. The coordinator's literal job is to make sure that that doesn't happen so that way you, your family, your bridal party, all of your guests can leave at the end of the night, continue to party, do whatever you want to do, and you don't have to worry about any additional charges or making sure that your stuff is getting to the place that it needs to go. especially if you have details and decorations coming in from different places that need to be shipped back specifically to those places, or you've got sentimental things that you wanted to have set up and want to make sure that they're returned to your house. The coordinator is going to make sure that their team makes that happen. And also that there are no cleaning or damage fees wrapped up in the process, which is please, please, please save that money. So again, every time I work with a planner or coordinator that knows what they're doing, I am so thankful that that position exists and that they allow me to do my job so much better. Many of the venues actually require some type of coordinator to come in for the wedding day. And so if you're trying to look for somebody who's going to be the really good fit for you and is really, really good at what they do, then I would recommend talking to the venue, talk to your photographers about who they've worked with, any of the other vendors, because coming from a wedding vendor, we love our coordinators and we love working with the ones who do their job really, really well and serve their brides really well. And this is definitely one of those things that is not necessarily a DIY project, and you should listen to the experts that spend every single weekend at a wedding, because trust me, it is going to be so worth your while. Any time and money that you're spending on your wedding day, you want to be able to enjoy it. You want everybody to have really good memories of it. And weddings are kind of hard work. So as much as it's all beautiful flowers and stuff, I have to be real with you guys too. So just something to think about. I have been talking to some of my coordinator friends about bringing them on the channel so that they can share all of their infinite wisdom with you. So you can be on the lookout for that. If you like this video, make sure to leave a comment or a thumbs up, and I will be posting more videos to help you with the wedding planning process. All right, bye guys.